Welcome back, guys. Today, with it being small game season and this time of year, we're going to be taking a look at various 22 LR ammunition loads and seeing how they perform in gel. While testing 22 in ballistics gel might seem kind of simple, we did run into some anomalies that you don't want to miss. Stay tuned. Starting off first, CCI Mini-Mags, 36 grain hollow point. That was such a satisfying thwack.
Whoa, that went a lot better than I thought.
CCI Stinger. A little more spice.
That one shot totally different.
And it didn't go as deep.
Well, that's about the same.
No, look from the side. It has a better wound track.
But that's, what, 1/8 of an inch? That's
less.
Negligible.
Right. Taking a look at the two hits we have here. We've got the Mini-Mag 36 grain hollow point on top with the CCI Stinger on the bottom. And it does look like the Stinger actually penetrated less, although if you look back at the main section of the wound cavity, it actually looks like it did a touch more damage. Taking a look at those from the top. And there you go. Up next we have...
This is a Winchester SuperExtra hollow point.
Winchester SuperExtra hollow points.
You ready?
Yep. Put them in a little beneath those. Should be good.
Ooh. Solid. That was low.
That's about where I thought we were going to put... Oh, that's interesting. It dove down.
Huh. I love that it threw mass up, but the main body of the bullet went down.
So that's interesting. Across all three of them, they're about the same permanent wound cavity. They're about the same penetration depth into the block here. And I did not bring a tape measure today, but my hand is about 4.5 inches across. I don't know, what would you say that is? Like 10 inches? I think that's about 6 inches across here. 5.5.
What is it, 16-inch block?
Yeah, it's a 16-inch block.
Yeah, you got 10 inches on each of them.
So they're all coming in pretty consistent. We take a look from the top. That was the Mini-Mag there on the top, followed by the, what was that, the Stinger right there. And then on the bottom we have that, that Winchester SuperExtra right over in here. Impressive results so far. Up next, we're going to have Aguila SuperMaximum hollow point. This is like a hyper velocity load at 1700 FPS, followed by Aguila 22 SuperExtra. This is at 1255 feet per second, and this is just a round nose, whereas the SuperMaximum is a hollow point.
That hit.
Oh, wow. And that went way shorter than the rest of them did.
Yeah, it did.
Interesting. That went a lot shallower than even the others did. You can see here the Aguila comes in right here.
Look at how much flatter it is.
Stops there, yeah, because of its speed. And then the others are out over in here. Can you see it from the top?
I guess it does have a bigger permanent wound cavity at first.
Interesting.
If you look at it from here, that initial wound cavity is bigger.
It is.
Not by a mountain, but...
It's still significant.
That's a big trade-off. I mean, comparatively speaking.
Right.
You look at everything else, it's all been identical.
It's still within 2 inches of the rest of them.
Yeah.
Be cool to dig these out. Okay, and then the regular SuperExtra?
Yeah.
Aguila SuperExtra.
Oh.
I think that one out the top of the block. Did it?
Yeah.
No, it didn't. Whoa. Well, it is it is a round nose. That went the entire length of the block.
Was that chunk that flew back past me that I recognized as being gel and you thought was gel.
I thought it was casing.
That was bullet.
No. Well, unless it bounced off the
It would have
back
bounced.
stuff.
It couldn't have had much energy at that point.
No. So this one came in. Oh, yeah, and we got flakes of target here on the top. So that's just a regular plated round nose, that Aguila. That was a really good wound cavity. Wow.
Comparatively speaking.
We went the entire length of the block.
Show the exit so that they can see that it actually came out.
And it exited right there. You can see it tracked the entire length of the block and exited right here. It didn't split it.
I wanted to see if maybe it did.
Nope.
Wow. Or federal.
Go ahead and shoot the Federal bulk pack, which has literally been the worst ammo that I've had in the testing. And then shoot the... I mean, if you want to shoot them back to back, you can.
Federal is first.
Federal first, and then just a CCI standard velocity lead round nose, and then just stick them in beneath these guys here anywhere so we can see them.
Oh no!
You put it in the same spot?
I put them both in the same hole. I was trying to drop... Oh, I did! I dropped the second one ever so slightly, but they intersected anyways.
Oh, that's so cool. It still stayed whole. Here.
That's completely usable. They
Yeah.
did not touch. I was so close to hitting them.
Well, I'm amazed that lead didn't deform. So, we've got the Federal here on the top. The CCI standard velocity on the bottom. Focus, camera. There we go. Coming out through. Both of them amazingly past the rest of them. The wound track on that Federal's not bad. And looking from the top, what do we got?
CCI is a terrible wound pattern now.
Trying to get it in the shade. There we go. So on the back here, right there, we have the CCI standard velocity. You can see. Oh, that's perfect. Look at that. The rifling marks, everything's still engraved on it. And then back there's the Federal. The nose kind of backed off a little bit. Focus. And it's not focusing. Yeah, not bad. Overall, my faith in 22 as a capable little round has been restored.
This is Armscor 40 grain high velocity. Not a high-end ammo. Oh my.
No. Is that this big one?
That's that one.
No.
And it went out the back.
Okay, hang on, let's watch the slow-mo.
With that.
So that was impressive for some super cheap, bulk Armscor pack stuff there. That was the wound cavity. Now, granted, that also happened, a good halfway through the block. I wonder if that was tumbling? I mean, it would make sense if it was, but... And then it proceeded, this little trail right here, it proceeded out. I have a hard time seeing it from the side. Yes, this is from the end. Let's see if this will focus. It's coming down through here and exited right back here. Impressive. Repeating the test with the Armscor, that's just a regular plated round nose.
Just a regular plated round nose.
Considered a high velocity at roughly 1150, 1175 feet per second. So we have it coming in over here in the top. Coming down through, we got another kind of bloom in the center. Now this one did stay nose forward. How's it look from the top? Ooh.
Looks worse. Well, worse for the animal, better for the ammo.
Okay, so checking this one out from the top, if the camera will focus in. That, this, I can't do it justice by the camera angle. Come on. This big bloom right here continued on. That's the Armscor. I'm impressed. Like, it does, when it enters, over here, it did like nothing other than a straight track until probably 5 or 6 inches in. And then, oofta, that really opened up.
Be good
see
for
here,
a
the bullet.
groundhog if you're aiming at the front shoulder.
Yeah. The bullet is pretty much intact and still nose forward. Man, I wish we had a really, like an actual high-speed camera for this. Alrighty, because of the performance we got out of those Armscors, which was very atypical, this guy is going to dump a couple more in that block, and we'll see if it's repeatable. On you. Are we clear? Let's take a look.
They are definitely giving good.
They are. That is super
so
weird. And you can see the majority. Let me get the shade. The majority of them are in the block at the same consistent depth. Like, see if I can darken this down here a little bit.
We do have a bunch down here that are turned backwards.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That one's backwards right there. 7, 8. I see at least 9 of them.
Look at those wound tracks.
Like this. Okay, so this one was coming in right here. Wow. Are these like a well-kept secret? Now, whether or not they're going to do this on proper tissue, I have no idea. Like, look at this one here. Nice, small, little, unassuming one on the side. That's the wound track, and that's my thumb. Those are better wound cavities than the 9mm.
It's weird that they all seem to have a flat.
The wound cavity is flat. That is true. Look at that. It comes right in here.
I don't know why.
And right there. Where's some of the other ones? Some of them are kind of buried. But a lot of these larger... Let's come around this side. Yeah. That's one, that's one, that's one, that's one. There's a bunch more back. So weird. These guys are backwards. How many more of these do you say you have? I think we need to explore this in further testing.
I don't know what we would test with it, but I got plenty.
Test them through different materials, maybe? If you guys have any ideas, drop them in the comments. We may have found an anomaly. What we really need is an actual slow motion camera to see what they're doing at that point, and I do not have one, unfortunately. They're too expensive. Weird.
If any of you in the comments have a slow motion camera, send it to us.
That would be great. Actually, yes. You can contact us. Go to the About info page for the Reloading Craft and check out the email there, thereloadingcraft@gmail.com. If you're interested in loaning us a camera to test these, hit us up. We would greatly appreciate it.
Are we done with this block now?
I think so. It's a little out of real estate for the time being. Now I got to cut all these out of here. Say no more.
It farted at me as I cut.
I saw that. There was gas that came up off of it.
Does that look as... That looks more smooth to me than most other 22s. I seem to remember...
There's no like auxiliary crimp... Wait, where is it? I lost it in the camera. There's no crimping ring in there. Try cutting this one out over here too. And if you're cutting gel at home, you have to be very careful. It's... Ow! Case in point, more difficult than it looks.
So there is a crimping ring.
It's very faint.
That's cracked. That's straight up broken.
Is it? Can you split it?
I can't quite.
Maybe it's just the jacketing.
If you look at right there, you can see where it's two separate pieces. It's weird.
Huh. Well, now we have two of them out. Are you cutting more?
Yeah, we need a normal one to compare them against.
Are you going for that? Is that the Mini-Mag?
I don't know. I've forgotten.
Do you want a hand?
I have two of them.
Here. I'll pull the gel back.
You're a scholar and a saint.
It's deceptively hard to do. Yeah, I think that's the Mini-Mag.
Yeah, so there you can see the crimp up underneath the mushroom face.
Which very consistent mushroom, very similar to the 22 mag. CCI has to make consistent bullets, that's for sure.
I wonder if these are oversized, causing extra deep crimps that also end up being covered up. That is so weird.
If you guys have any ideas, please leave a comment. We found something very strange and it's kind of curious. Look at this, guys.
Came out of...
Very little nose deformation, I'm impressed.
This one didn't give us the grand wound cavity like the others.
Where was this one?
This one came from here, and it comes back, but that wound cavity is relatively underwhelming. I have no idea what it means.
I literally just dumped it in the pile in my hand with the rest of them.
It looked identical to the others.
I did not know if there was any difference.
That was the point I was trying to make. It's just really weird.
Oh, yes. Oh, and look, the gel on the side's so clear because this was the top when I melted it.
This is the coolest thing I've ever done. So freaking cool.
Look at that smile, folks. Look at that smile.
So that one came out...
What was this one?
Of...
Come on, focus.
This wound cavity, which started out here.
This looks like the federal bulk stuff. Although I don't know which ones were the Aguilas. Ah, there's so many of them in there, I got them all mixed up.
Oh, well.
If you all are paying attention to the video, you'll know better than I will. There's one. There's two.
That is so strange. If I knew that 22 was capable of doing that consistently...
Okay, so this is the CCI standard velocity.
You can see it doesn't... Those ones look like they're pressed into the barrel harder, to me.
It's possible.
Like they're oversized.
I mean,
but if they were oversized to the point that we were getting different ballistics out of them, you should have seen it in the speed, which you checked, and it was a relatively boring speed.
Yeah, they were what, between 1150 and 1175.
Yeah.
That's a nice...
What was this one? This one I looked at. This is our 1700 FPS.
So is that the Aguila?
That's the
SuperMaximum?
SuperMax.
Or was that the Stinger?
That's the SuperMax.
It's also kind of interesting. They have a conical base. There's a cutout in the base of them.
Well, those ones need to cut weight to get their speed. That's why those have such a heavy conical base.
Oh. So overall, we had some pretty interesting results with those Armscors actually being quite the anomaly overall. If you have any ideas of why they might be doing that, or would have any other suggestions for 22 ammunition to test on the channel in the future, feel free to drop that in the comment section down below. Of course, if you have a SLO-MO camera and you want to loan it to us, we'd be happy to test it out and revisit these. All in all, this is a fun test to do, and I appreciate you watching to the end of the video. As always, if you have any video suggestions, drop them in the comment section down below. Stay safe, and keep on reloading. And sometimes that means grabbing spare 22 mags when you're out hunting.